More than a year of a bitter trade battle between the US and China, it is causing a great concern on the global scale. As the world's two largest economies have imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of one another's goods, negotiations from both sides have proven difficult. A regional comprehensive economic partnership, RCEP, covering a total population of 3.5 billion and 32% of the global GDP, appears as a significant alternative. RCEP covers 10 members of ASEAN plus China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, India, and New Zealand. 6 countries having free trade agreements with ASEAN. Minister of State for Trade and Export Growth and Minister of Agriculture of New Zealand, Damien O'Connor, is hopeful that RCEP should be concluded by the end of this year, while Thailand is the chair of ASEAN.
We all want to conclude this year. It won't be a perfect trade agreement, no agreement is. We're all having to compromise and there may be some issues that are unresolved, but hopefully we can get to a position where we can reach an agreement and then accept that there are issues to be resolved into the future, and they may be for individual countries or they may be bilateral issues that have to be worked through.
Can you just give me some example of some issue that remain to be resolved in the future?
I think for India there's some big challenges ahead and they are seriously looking at how they can work through those. They need a clearer mandate from their people, from their government. And so we may, the rest of us, the 15 other countries, accept that for India. This is a big challenge, but if most of the areas can be agreed upon, then a few like e-commerce may be put to one side and we can work through those into the future. We want India to be part of the agreement. We want all the countries involved so that indeed half the world's population agreeing on some fair rules of trade is a huge and valuable asset in today's uncertain world.
Do you think RCEP can help change the world in which the world economy seems to be moving into protectionism? Can RCEP be like force for change?
RCEP can reverse the direction in which we've been heading, and as you say, it has been one towards protectionism. That's not good for any country. We rely on relationships, some of them trading relationships, some of them human relationships, capital moving in and out. That direction of protectionism is not good for us in the long term. So RCEP will be the opportunity to reverse that direction, to show that there's real value in coming together through cooperation and compromising ultimately to reach an agreement and then accepting that the world's not perfect. We all have our own objectives of well-being for our own people, but that well-being will be enhanced by being able to trade products, to trade knowledge, trade services.
What's your take on trade war between China and US? Does it mean that other regions or other grouping of the market become more attractive because of the stiff competition or stiff tension between China and US?
We see no positive things from that trade war. The uncertainty that it causes for all of us is not good. There may be some short-term opportunities, market opportunities for companies, but overall the uncertainty that it creates for all of us, we all have strong relationships with China, we're trading in, we're taking investment from that country. The uncertainty is not good for business or for countries when the best way forward is to build long and enduring relationships, not short-term opportunistic ones.
Does that mean that the conclusion of RCEP by the end of this year will mean the alternative market to the US or China, but China is one of the main pillar countries in RCEP as well?
I think China sees greater stability and opportunity if RCEP is signed. Clearly they have a dependence on the US and US on them. They have to work through that difficult issue as quickly as possible, we hope. In the meantime, I think China see an agreement like RCEP as being beneficial for their future as well. They're calculating on ongoing growth. They need improved relationships. They need increased opportunities in market.
You were in farming industry before in New Zealand from private capacity. What do you think is the particular area that New Zealand and Thailand can work much more closer, especially in farming sector?
Look, we understand that Thai farmers are perhaps concerned that if there's a trade agreement, then more product might come in from New Zealand. We are generally reasonably efficient, but our total production can only feed 40 million people. So we're a very small country, and our total dairy production is only 2% of the world's production. What we'd like to do, and indeed we have some projects now where New Zealand farmers and officials and companies are working with Thai farmers out in the regions in the northeast to assist them with technology to improve the levels of productivity.
What's the opportunity of Thai products or Thai market do you see from New Zealand perspective?
Look, they are huge. We only have 4.5 million people, so the opportunity for Thai exporters is maybe limited. There are things we can learn and take from your country down to ours. I just visited a factory here where some of our dairy product is put into products here, sold out around the world through a Thai company. And then we've got engineering companies that are working in your market here, assisting to build buildings, to develop, I guess, the Thai economy. And so those relationships are very, very strong, and we'd like to see them build even further. We have we have 2 trade agreements at the moment, a closer economic partnership, ANZFTA, and we hope with RCEP that will be 3 really strong trade agreements and relationships with your country.
Minister O'Connor is in Bangkok this week, only 2 months before the leaders aim to announce conclusion of negotiations of RCEP in November. Natha Gomonwadin, Thai PBS World reports.